What's up, guys? Eric here from MajorLeagueTrading.com, and in tonight's video here, I want to break down a mistake in which I made today that ultimately ended up being a good mistake on my part, but I accidentally closed out of my position, closing a web browser, and just accidentally clicked on the active trader window and sold the contracts in which I was currently long here for the S&Ps. So I put up a video here on my Instagram just kind of talking through that whole process, but I wanted to recap it here. So this isn't something that's happened to me in a very, very long time. I honestly cannot remember the last time in which I made a mistake in terms of entering a position, exiting a position, taking off too much or not enough or whatever the case might be. I'm usually a lot more attentive on that type of thing, right? And I just happened to have my order entry window right behind a web browser here on my main page. And I clicked off of it, and then just, the click of a button, auto sends orders. And as soon as that web browser went away, I clicked on the sell limit for the S&Ps, and it just executed my position and sold me out, right? I clicked actually under where current price was trading, and it filled me out. So with this here, once that happened, I did and still do have an open position on in Tesla, but I had to just go ahead and turn everything down and step away from that because it's like, okay, I still wanted to have the position on, like I wasn't intending upon taking it off. It turns out to be a really good exit on my part because I was actually able to, I was long S&Ps from down in here off this 74 quarter test. And I was actually on the mic talking through this and everything when it kind of came about. So just to recap the trading day here and what all took place, just literally inside of this 2-minute bar here where we started to pop there right after 11:45, I entered into some S&Ps futures contracts, and then I also entered into some SPY, I believe there were 426 calls here looking for, the rally here up into 428.33s, right? We had a big gap between 422.45s to 428.33s, and I'm like, okay, cool. If we can do that, I was able to pick those contracts up for 9 cents, and I'm like, I'll be able to hold these a little bit easier than I will the S&Ps. So with this, like I said, I went ahead and literally picked these up right inside of this bar, just focusing on a 15-minute chart and higher time frame charts and having the level there, getting the confirmation. So for those of you that have taken the mentorship, know what that means. And then the setup in which I was looking for, to kind of take place from there, in addition to having the opening print right here. And when I was on the mic, I talked about this saying, hey, I think at some point we'll probably come back and retest the opening print for the day. Like it would make sense. Given that we had rejected from the 422.45s, we'd sold back off. At that same time, when we went lower, the Dow actually ended up making new lows on the day. So we had a divergence here, which also led into, the thesis for the trade, right? Which we ultimately came down here, made new lows in the Dow and in the NASDAQ at the same time. Hello, thank you. At 10:55 right through there. And then, we came down, made new lows and all of that in the Dow and not in the, I don't know why this mouse was sticking. That's like the second time it's done that today. Where we came down, made new lows in the Dow, no new lows out of S&Ps, NASDAQ, and or the Russell, and we were actually holding this 14,768 quarter level here for the NASDAQ, which was an important level to me, right? That was the same type of level as the 74 quarters. So once we then started to get this bounce, go sideways and consolidate from there, we had ultimately done, a couple of different things leading up into that. And I said, okay, cool. Now I'm able to go ahead and pick up a position. So we went ahead and did that. And we also picked up a position in Tesla, like I said. And then literally instantly here, we got this nice pop where you hit new highs on the day, 42.83s. So we were able to take a portion of the position off here at 42.83 quarters. And then from there, I said, okay, cool. I'm just going to, let this work. take a walk, come back, and then we'll look to manage it from there. And I came back, I sat down at the desk right up through here, and that's when I was, browsing the web and doing a couple things. And 42.90 quarter is my exit right up in through here on this bar, where I got filled out on that. So got some off at 83 quarters, some off there at 42.90 quarters. And again, I was looking for this big move up to 43, 34, 75s. Now, ultimately, it ends up working out, right? Because S&Ps came back down. They retested the opening print, had a nice little failure to go lower type action here, and all of the things in which we now have in place, and got a pretty decent bounce, right? Another 35-ish point bounce from the opening print up here towards 4,300s on the day. So in hindsight, it ended up being a really good mistake for me because I was able to basically get out at the top of where I would have been able to. And no harm, no foul. So with that being said, I also had to be super patient this morning. And I mean, basically my first trade was, an hour and a half and change plus into the day. And then the second trade in which I took here, which I still have on, is going to be in Tesla. So in Tesla, I ended up taking this position just shortly after 11:30 here. Again, same time I was on the mic, talked about this one. I was waiting for the S&P trade. I liked the Tesla relative strength in which we had. The weekly's okay. Daily, it could be a bit better. But what really, really interested me here was the fact that 271.73 is legit the next target above from here. So if we clear 255.23s, type this into the Discord and everything this morning, saying, hey, 255.23s is going to be important. Off that first reaction and that test right here, and we've got this pullback, I was watching all of this action and I said, hey, this looks like it's going to go through 255.23s. Let it do its thing. Let us confirm. Let it get the pullback. Let it do all the stuff in which we want to see. And we got a little bit of a front run here today. So about 8 cents worth of front run. But once we kind of came back up right through here and took out the high of this bar here, I went ahead and put on a position using the 267.5 calls. And I want to actually bring these over. I want to show you guys something a little bit with this position. So I'm just going to go ahead and unlink this. And I'll drop this in. So this is the options chain for Tesla here on these 267.5 calls. And you'll notice my entry price for this position is at 77 cents. So if we come up here, here's that pullback over on the left-hand side. You can see back to 255.23s. And then once we started rallying back up through there, I showed you the entry on the 2-minute chart. I was able to pick these contracts up for 77 cents right in through here. And one thing I want to note is, like, if you look right in through here, we're sitting at about 256 on Tesla when I put this position on. And then later on today, when we pulled back right through here, even though we didn't crack 256 or get necessarily close to our entry price, these contracts were actually a little bit red at the time, just from a theta decay standpoint. But then the rest of this, rally here into the end of the day, they were able to, kind of pick up there and turn into a pretty decent move. So 77 cents to $1.60 where they currently closed here. We're down about 50, 60 cents in after hours. Not necessarily too concerned by that. But this is one of my favorite trades here going into the rest of the week. I think there's a really nice potential that this daily either turns into a 1, 2, 3 here, and we make the move up into 271.73s. Let me go back to this. By the end of the week here, or if market starts to rally tomorrow and we can clear that 15.039s that we have in place for the NASDAQ, and then the same level being that 43.3475s for the S&Ps. If we can clear that, then I like Tesla for the move up into 271.73s. So anyways, this turned out to be a much longer video than I was kind of anticipating or expecting it to be. Obviously, all these things are typed out and all that stuff in Discord as we were kind of talking through it and watching it and all that, with the different levels and such for the day. So hopefully that made sense. That was one of the biggest things in which I saw yesterday. People wanted to see some trade recaps and some entries and exits and things like that on different stuff. Unfortunately, my exit from today was just a complete luck. I don't really know. I should maybe go buy a lottery ticket with that one, but ended up being decent and we'll take it. So follow the rules on what happens after, which is the big thing for me. So after you make a mistake or something like that. So anyways, that's what I got for tonight's free video. Take care. Hope it helped. And as always, I'll see you guys in the Discord tomorrow. Peace.